Are you burdened with so many problems that you don't know what to do? The issues keep growing, the pressure keeps accumulating, you have no escape. Things go out of place and you're against the wall, maybe you say. Wouldn't it be nice to just go asleep and never wake up again? It sounds very harsh. Many people think that death is the solution to their problems. On my recent trip to Japan, I was fascinated by the culture, by the food, by the people especially. And while I was there, I was waiting on the subway. Now in my country, there's no subway, so I was really fascinated by this fact. But as I was waiting and the subway was coming, the train, I started to think, oh, what if I fell down right now? For sure, I would die. And then I thought, I wonder if people commit suicide in this place. Now, me being naive, I thought to myself, well, Japanese people don't really kill themselves. It turns out I was in for a shock. As I started to talk with the people, I realized that the suicide rates are high. In fact, about 70 people kill themselves every day. That is an average of about 30,000 per year. Over the last decade, there's been over 300,000 people who've committed suicide, and yearly, just in attempts alone, there are about 300,000 also. People don't want the process of suicide, of the suffering and all that, to take so long, so what they do instead is that they find these harsh ways of killing themselves, very intense, very crazy, such like jumping in front of trains or jumping off buildings. What are the reasons why people commit suicide in Japan? No one who's in a state of genuine happiness would say, I'm at peace, I think I'll take my life. No one does that. There's reasons why people decide to do that because they're not in the right state of mind. Now, some of these reasons are they're forced to work long hours, big debts to pay. For them to show that they're really sorry, that they can't pay the debts, is that they take their life. Other reasons are feeling like a failure, feeling like you don't belong in society or that you don't fit into the society, maybe tired of life, no identity, or even no human networks. Suicide can be really expensive. If someone decides to do a train suicide, it can cost the company up to $700,000. Not only that, but the family has to pay about $60,000 to the company for the cleaning up process. Recently, I saw a friend who posted a picture that had his picture, and next to him was a black ribbon, and in the caption it said, "The only time when people will love you." I was struck by this. Kind of almost made sense because I've officiated many funerals, and when someone is alive, there's a lot of hate and there's a lot of bad remarks about the person, but suddenly when this person dies, it's like, she's such a good person, she was such an amazing person, why did she have to go so soon? And it's really sad to know that when you die, that's when people will acknowledge you. And maybe some people might fantasize, will people love me when I die? Now, there was a man who committed a great mistake. He betrayed his friend. And because he betrayed his friend actually was killed because of that. Having a big burden on him, he thought that the best thing that he could do was kill himself. His friend was hanged on a Roman torturing device that we now know as the cross. His name was Jesus. The one who betrayed him was Judas. So Judas, in his shame and in his guilt, he decides to kill himself. Now here's the thing, he had two options. He could either choose life or he could choose death. But there was two trees, the tree where he hanged himself and the tree where he could have went to Jesus. Even though he betrayed Jesus, he still would have had the opportunity of repentance, of surrender, of changing his life. But he thought death was the solution. So many people today think that death is the solution to your problems, when in reality you have two options. You have death and you have life. You can choose today. And you can only find life in Jesus. Because even with your mistakes, even with your flaws, even if you don't make the cut, even if you think you're not good enough, God still invites you with open arms. He still loves you. Death is not the solution to your problems. You can still choose life today. And life is only found in God, who not only brings life, but He fills the void in those empty places, and He gives purpose and meaning to your life. If lately you have been feeling extremely sad, if maybe you don't enjoy doing the things you used to do before, maybe your sleep pattern has changed, maybe you're sleeping too much or sleeping too little, maybe you're eating too much or eating too little, maybe you get irritated quickly, and if you have some of these symptoms, then you should look for help. And surround yourself with family, surround yourself with loved ones, with your friends, and get someone to listen to you. Get someone who can really listen to you, and you would be surprised that sometimes that's all we need. Someone that can listen to us. Matthew 11:28-30 says, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and heavily burdened, and I will give you rest. Rest which is refreshing your souls with salvation." So find someone, connect with someone. In fact, for that matter, you could even connect with me. You'll find the description of my social media below. So let's connect and just find someone who can talk to you. And remember, death is not the solution to your problems. Your solution is in God, who gives you hope, life, and who fills those empty places.